You ever looked back on a relationship and thought, was I just a tool? Did she even care? Not with rage, not even bitterness, just that quiet, sinking realization that what you thought was love, connection, maybe even something sacred, might have been nothing more than convenience. That she smiled, touched you, praised you, right up until she got what she wanted. And then, cold, distant, gone. You gave your time, your energy, your loyalty, and still ended up feeling used. If you felt that, Nietzsche would have said, yes. Brutally, yes. Friedrich Nietzsche wasn't the kind of thinker who wrapped life in nice words. He confronted reality head-on, no matter how uncomfortable or harsh. He believed people, especially in love, are driven by instincts they don't even fully understand. And when it came to women, he dropped this cold line. In revenge and in love, woman is more barbaric than man. Now, that's not an insult. It's a warning, a lens. He wasn't saying all women are evil. He was saying, don't be blind to how love can be used to control, to dominate, to manipulate. Because the truth is, some of the most powerful tactics aren't obvious. They're not loud or violent. They come dressed in sweetness, in affection, in moments that feel like connection, but are really control. And the reason they work so well is because they tap into your deepest needs as a man, to be wanted, admired, respected, to feel like you matter. Most men never see it. We're raised to pursue, to protect, to prove ourselves. But no one teaches us how to spot when we're being emotionally played. No one tells us what it looks like to be used without ever being yelled at, without ever being hit, without a single fight. And that's exactly why it hurts so damn much, because it leaves you confused, doubting your own memory, your own worth. So in this video, we're doing what most won't. We're going to expose it. 6 brutal emotional tactics women use, the kind Nietzsche would have warned you about. They're subtle, they're effective, and chances are you've experienced them without even knowing it, until now. Tactic 1. The illusion of special attention. She told you that you were different, that no one had ever made her laugh like that she felt safe with you in a way she never had before. Maybe she looked you in the eyes and whispered, "I've never met anyone like you." And in that moment, you believed her. How could you not? The way she touched your arm, the way she lit up when you walked into the room. It all felt so personal, so real, like fate, almost. But here's the truth that hits hard. She said it before. Maybe not the exact words, but the same script, the same laugh, the same gaze, the same lines. You weren't the first man to hear them, and you won't be the last. That special bond you thought you had? It wasn't a one-in-a-million connection. It was a well-rehearsed pattern, a carefully used tactic. And when you finally see her do it again, with someone else, it hits like a punch to the chest. You thought it meant something because it felt like it did. But it wasn't personal. It was persuasive. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement, when validation and praise are given inconsistently and unpredictably. It's one of the most powerful ways to keep someone hooked. You never know when the next compliment, the next warm smile, the next moment of connection will come. And that uncertainty makes you crave it more. The rare moments of affection become addictive. Nietzsche would have seen through it instantly. He once said, "There are no beautiful surfaces without a terrible depth." And this is one of those depths, the use of charm and flattery not as a reflection of love, but as a tool of control. This doesn't mean she's evil. It means she's learned, consciously or not, how to make a man feel special in order to get what she wants. And when you realize that, really realize it, the heartbreak isn't just about her. It's about everything you thought was real, everything you thought was yours. But now, you see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Tactic 2. Weaponizing vulnerability. She told you about her pain early, maybe even on the first or second date. How her father walked out when she was young. How her last boyfriend cheated. how no one's ever truly loved her the right way. She said it with trembling eyes, maybe a tear, maybe just that soft, cracked voice that made you feel like you were the first person she truly trusted. And in that moment, something shifted inside you. You weren't just interested, you were needed. You weren't just a man, you were a protector, her safe place, her redemption story. You thought, if I just love her right, maybe she'll finally feel whole. But what you didn't see then, what most men don't, is how that moment of vulnerability created a deep emotional hook. A trauma bond. It made you drop your guard. You stopped thinking critically. You made excuses for behavior you never would have accepted from anyone else. She started disappearing for days, but you forgave her. She snapped at you for small things, but you told yourself she was just scared of being hurt again. She pulled you in and pushed you away over and over. And still, you stayed. Because you weren't just dating her, you were trying to rescue her. And when you finally confronted the patterns, the double standards, the emotional chaos, she looked at you with those same wounded eyes and said, I told you I was broken. Her pain became her shield, and eventually, her weapon. You found yourself apologizing to someone who had hurt you. Nietzsche warned us, he who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. But what he didn't say is how easy it is to become the caretaker of one, and how hard it is to admit that the love you gave wasn't just unreturned. It was used. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. You saw someone hurting and you stepped up. That's not a flaw, that's a strength. But now you know, real healing can't be forced. And some people don't want to be healed. They want to be held just long enough to feel powerful again. Then they let go. And you're the one left wondering what just happened. Tactic 3. Selective silence. You remember it all too well. You sent a text, no reply. You called her, no answer. Minutes passed, then hours, maybe even a whole day. You found yourself sitting alone in the dark, phone in hand, staring at the blank screen as your mind raced in circles. What did I do wrong? Was it something I said? You went over every word, every interaction, searching for a mistake that might explain the sudden coldness. Your chest tightened with anxiety and your thoughts spiraled. Maybe she's upset, maybe she's angry, maybe she's pulling away. That silence pressed down on you like a weight, heavy and suffocating. And then the panic set in. You started trying harder, sending more messages, calling again, asking mutual friends if she was okay, willing her to respond, to break the silence. You bent over backward, trying to fix something that felt like it was breaking apart, hoping that your effort would be enough to pull her back. But here's the brutal truth you might not have admitted until now. That silence was never accidental. It wasn't a mistake or a momentary lapse. It was a deliberate weapon, a methodical form of control. She knew exactly what she was doing when she went quiet. The cold, distant silence was designed to unsettle you, to make you question your worth, to make you scramble for reassurance. It was a way to punish without confrontation, to punish without words, to make you chase, to make you vulnerable, to make you less in your own eyes. Nietzsche warned us, distrust all in whom the impulse to punish is powerful. Her silence wasn't peace or space to reflect, it was punishment. A slow, agonizing withdrawal that left you grasping at straws for connection. It's a tactic so cruel because it exploits your natural human need for communication and closeness, turning it into a weapon against you. And the hardest part? You probably blamed yourself for it. You thought you were too needy, too impatient, too weak. But this isn't about you. It's about her choice to use silence as a tool. That empty phone screen, that endless waiting, it wasn't your fault. It was her way of pulling the strings, and once you recognize that, you begin to reclaim your power. Because silence meant to control is not love, it's a trap. Tactic 4. Conditional intimacy. You quickly learn that affection, compliments, even sex, all come with strings attached. When you say exactly what she wants, when you submit, when you bend to her wishes, she smiles, she touches you, she makes you feel wanted. But the moment you push back, question her, set a boundary, or stand up for yourself, everything changes. The warmth disappears. The compliments stop. The intimacy dries up. Suddenly, you're left feeling cold, confused, desperate to get back to that place where she looked at you with softness. This isn't love. This is a cycle of reward and punishment, a twisted form of conditioning, like training a dog to obey commands. You perform behaviors, she gives you affection. You don't, she withholds it. You learn to adapt, to censor your true feelings, to hide your doubts, just to get the fleeting moments of connection that keep you hooked. Psychologists call this operant conditioning, where behavior is shaped by rewards and consequences. But here, it's weaponized to keep you in line, to make you small, to keep you craving approval instead of equality. Nietzsche captured this perfectly when he said, "The surest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct him to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently." She wanted obedience, not connection. Compliance, not respect. You weren't loved for who you truly are. You were loved only when you fit the mold she created. Recognizing this is painful. It's the quiet fury of realizing how much of yourself you gave away, how much you lost trying to earn love that came with conditions. But it's also a breakthrough, because real love doesn't demand submission. It doesn't punish you for standing up. It invites you to be whole. And once you see the difference, you can start to break the cycle. Tactic 5. Feigning innocence. You called her out once, maybe more than once. You noticed the way she lingered on someone else's words a little too long, or how her laughter got a little too close to flirting. You said something, trying to be honest and open, but she just laughed it off, flashing that innocent smile and saying, "You're just being insecure. You're too sensitive." And just like that, your concerns were dismissed, shoved aside like they didn't matter. You believed her. Because who wants to be the guy who can't trust his own feelings? But this wasn't a misunderstanding. It was gaslighting, a cruel psychological trick designed to make you question your own reality. She played the confused, naive victim perfectly, acting like you were the one causing problems, like you were the aggressor, when in reality, you were simply trying to protect yourself. Nietzsche warned us about fighting monsters. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process, he does not become a monster. But her feigned innocence twisted that battle. It made you doubt your own mind, second-guess your feelings, and silence your voice. This tactic isn't just careless behavior, it's a form of emotional invalidation. It's a way to dodge accountability and shift blame, leaving you isolated in your confusion. And the worst part? You start wondering if maybe she's right. Maybe you are the problem. But here's the truth. Your feelings were real, your boundaries were justified, and her naivety was a mask, a tactic used to control, manipulate, and keep you off balance. Recognizing this is not just clarity, it's vindication. Because once you see through the act, you reclaim your reality, and with it, your power. Tactic 6. Using empowerment as justification. She told you she was doing what was best for her, that this was her time to focus on self-love, healing, and growth. When she left suddenly, when she cheated, when she manipulated situations to her advantage, it was all framed as part of her journey. "I don't owe anyone anything," she said. "I have to put myself first." And society often backs this up, praising her courage to be empowered while the pain she left behind goes unacknowledged. You were left to pick up the pieces, trying to understand how the woman you loved could so easily discard you in the name of finding herself. But here's the brutal truth that cuts through all that rhetoric. Selfishness disguised as empowerment isn't strength. It's an excuse. A mask worn to justify actions that hurt others without facing consequences. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." True strength comes from having a purpose, a reason that grounds you and pushes you through hardship without destroying those around you. If her why was genuine growth, She wouldn't leave a trail of broken hearts behind her. She wouldn't use healing as a cover for running away from responsibility or as permission to manipulate and abandon. Instead, what you experienced was a double standard. A world quick to celebrate her freedom while dismissing your pain as weakness or possessiveness. Emotional labor often falls unfairly on men, expected to be strong, silent, and forgiving, while women are encouraged to prioritize themselves, even at a cost. This imbalance isn't just unfair, it's damaging. It twists the idea of empowerment into something toxic. And so, when she says, "I'm doing what's best for me," remember this. True empowerment doesn't come at the expense of others. True healing builds, not destroys. It's not selfishness in disguise, it's responsibility with compassion. That moment of clarity, when you see the difference between real strength and narcissistic justification, is painful but freeing. Because it shows you who she really was in that story, and who you deserve to be moving forward. Conclusion. Not every woman uses these tactics. Not every relationship follows these harsh patterns. It's important to say that up front, because generalizing never helps anyone heal. But these tactics do exist, and when you look through Nietzsche's brutal lens, suddenly things become clearer. It's like a fog lifts, and you start to recognize the games that were being played, the subtle manipulations that kept you locked in confusion and pain. Knowing this truth isn't about becoming bitter or angry, it's about becoming free. Free from the blindness that let these tactics hold power over you. Free to rebuild your sense of self with clarity, strength, and awareness. Awareness not to hate, but to protect. Not to close your heart, but to guard it wisely. The pain you felt isn't a mark of weakness. It's proof you cared deeply. But now you carry a new kind of power, the power of insight. When you understand these emotional tactics, you no longer stumble blindly. You stand taller, smarter, stronger. Nietzsche didn't write to wound us, he wrote to wake us up. As he said, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. But now that your illusions have been broken, you are finally free. If this resonated with you, if you felt the sting of these tactics, or simply want to understand human nature more deeply, subscribe to Psycore. Like, share, and comment below with your thoughts or experiences. Let's build a community where honesty and growth come first, where we learn not just to survive heartbreak, but to rise above it. Remember, you're not alone. You're seen, you're understood, and most importantly, you're stronger than you think.